So, we're all hearing about this next generation of AI, right? Things like Salesforce's Agent Force are totally changing the game for businesses. But have you ever stopped to think about how these incredibly smart, complex AI agents actually get, well, built? Today, we're going to dive into exactly that, the AI that builds AI, and how Capado is tackling this massive new challenge head on. Think about it. The rise of AI-powered apps means there's a whole new level of complexity we're dealing with. Your admins? They suddenly have the power of pro coders, which is amazing. But it also means building and releasing new features can get out of control, fast. So how do you manage all this without your release days turning into release weekends? And that's exactly where Capado steps in. It's an intelligent DevOps platform that was built for this new world. The goal is pretty simple, but it's also super ambitious. Get rid of those stressful release weekends and make the whole journey, from that first spark of an idea to its real-world impact, totally seamless. Okay, let's make this real. Let's take an example from the Dreamhouse application. Picture this. You're a support rep and you're trying to book an open house. You're manually digging through property lists, cross-checking schedules, just praying you don't double book another agent. You can just feel the headache building, right? It's a total recipe for frustration. And that process, that's the real problem here. It's slow, it's painful for the support rep, and it's a terrible experience for the customer who's just sitting there on hold. The Dreamhouse team knew there had to be a better way, using AI, specifically Agent Force, to automate the whole thing. But the question is, where do you even begin to build something like that? Well, it all starts with a conversation, or more accurately, it starts by taking a messy, real-world conversation and turning it into a structured, rock-solid plan. This is the first and honestly the most critical step, creating something actionable out of just an idea. So let me introduce you to the first character in our story, the plan agent. Think of it as the AI project manager for your dev team. The Dreamhouse team literally just fed it the raw transcript from their brainstorming call, and that unstructured chat became the starting point for everything. Now, the plan agent's process is really what's key here. It's not just summarizing the call. No. It deeply analyzes the conversation to find the real pain points. It generates full technical specifications, and then it pulls it all together into a user story that a developer can actually work with. And here's the magic. With just a single command, bam, the plan agent creates user story 959, and it puts it right into Jira. And this isn't some generic, half-baked story. It's formatted perfectly based on the team's own best practices that they uploaded, with every little detail already filled in. We just went from a chat to a developer-ready task in minutes. All right, so we've got our plan. Now it's time to actually build the thing. But how does a developer even know where to start writing the code? Well, this is where Capado pulls out its secret weapon. It's called org intelligence. And you gotta understand, this isn't your standard run-of-the-mill AI that just knows how to code. This AI has been connected directly to your Salesforce org. It knows your existing metadata, it understands all your dependencies, your trigger frameworks, it knows the entire history and the context of everything you've already built. This deep-seated knowledge is what powers our next AI team member, the build agent. So when a developer asks it for an implementation plan, it doesn't give back some generic advice. It gives a precise 5-step guide. Why? Because it already knows exactly what objects and fields exist in the org. And that right there is the absolute game changer. A generic AI might tell you, hey, go create these new objects. The build agent knows those objects are already there and says, nope, start by creating the specific flow. It saves a developer hours of digging around and prevents a ton of potential rework. It's tailored expertise, not just boilerplate code. And this org intelligence is woven into the entire process. For example, when the developer is ready to commit their changes, a feature called Smart Selection looks at the user story in the org again, and it recommends the exact components that need to be committed. This just crushes the chances of forgetting some critical piece of metadata. Now for what I think is the most groundbreaking, mind-blowing part of this entire process. Okay, so we've planned with AI, we've built with AI, but how on earth do you test a complex, unpredictable AI agent to make sure it actually works? The answer is a fully automated quality pipeline. As soon as that new Agent Force feature gets deployed to the QA environment, a quality gate is automatically triggered. And that kicks off a robotic test that's going to interact with the new agent just like a real person would. And this is the crucial point. You can't use old-school testing methods for these new AI tech. It just doesn't work. You need an AI to properly validate another AI. There's no way a manual tester could ever cover all the different ways a conversation could go. So here's how it actually goes down. Copado Robotic Testing starts a chat with the new Agent Force feature. It asks about a property, then it asks to schedule an open house. Every single response from Agent Force is captured and sent over to another totally independent AI, an unbiased large language model that acts like a judge, checking if the response was accurate, if it was relevant, and if it was helpful. So let's just pull back for a second and look at the entire journey we just went on. We started with a simple, pretty frustrating business problem, and we followed it all the way through a completely new kind of development lifecycle. It all started with a simple conversation. The plan agent turned that into a structured plan. Then, the build agent, using that deep org intelligence, brought that plan to life. And finally, the new feature was validated by an automated, AI-powered testing process to make sure it delivered real, tangible impact. And here it is, the final result. That frustrating manual process of booking an open house, it's gone. It's been replaced by a simple automated conversation with an intelligent agent, all of it built and tested securely through the Copado platform. You know, this whole new way of developing with AI, it's not just about making things faster. It's about unlocking the potential for teams to build more powerful, more complex, and more reliable applications than ever before. So really, the only question left is, what are you going to build?